What's up, guys? I got another Alliance War video for you. This is the first war of Season 6. Big debut. Off-season went by so fast, blink of an eye. In this first war of Season 6, we will be going up against ÖMNI. I will be going path 6 to 7 this war. This first node is Aggression, Fury, Unblockable L1, and Limber. It's a rank 5 science, no persistent charge, so it's not going to be MODOK. I was expecting a OGV, not an OGV, an OG SpiderMan, and it does turn out to be a 565 classic SpiderMan. So in the beginning of the fight, I wanted to build up 2 poise charges and then bait out a heavy from him, and then try and get some of those Aggression Furies off of him from that Aggression Fury node. I don't want to push him above an L1. So I did power drain him right there, and then I do drop this I do drop this L1, and it stuns him. I don't retaliate the stun because of the Limber node, and I get one more medium in, and that rank 5 classic Spider-Man goes down in like 12 hits. Pretty nuts on the health pool and the damage from my spark. So next node is Bane, enhanced abilities, and stun immunity. The guy's profile had a 565 G-Hulk or Void, so it was one of the two. It turns out to be the G-Hulk, and that's cool with me. I'd rather the G-Hulk than the Void. I did bring Spark because I was more comfortable against the Void or the G-Hulk on this Bane node. Right there, I guess my dexterity, I guess I was too slow on it. I could have sworn I wasn't, but it didn't work, and I did get clipped. I did get Bane on me, and I took a decent amount of damage from that 5-hit combo. I do transfer Bane pretty well. I do transfer it really well right there. Again, he threw that L2, and I transferred it. I dropped this L2 of my own. It got 3 shocks on him. I bait out one more L1 from him, and I get that G-Hulk down after he intercepted me, or my evade didn't work. That happens again later in the war. Anyway, next node is node 24. It's a rank 5 skill with persistent charges, so it's definitely Aegon. I brought my Void because he is a good counter to any champion that does not shrug off debuffs on any regeneration node. First rule of Aegon is his heavy is a 3-hit heavy, and do not try to retaliate after the first hit. I knew that before going into this fight, but what do? I still retaliated. That's okay, though, because my Void has a ton of health. Second rule of Aegon, fighting Aegon, is the L2 is a little bit easier to avoid and retaliate, so that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to just push him to an L2. Even though his L1 right there, he does throw it, and I do evade and retaliate it pretty well. Even though his L1 is still pretty easy, I just prefer baiting out his L2s. I did duel an Aegon before going into this fight because I saw the persistent charges. I knew it was going to be him, so I wanted to practice up. Right here, I see that my timer's ticking down. I totally thought that was the timer for Fear of the Void. I thought I was going to get Fear of the Void right there, and then I was going to drop this perfect L1 and then get a debuff automatically right after I get Fear of the Void. But little did I know that that was not the Fear of the Void debuff. That was my 6th debuff or whatever. So yeah, waste of an L1. That sucked, but whatever. I didn't lose too much health. I am at 42 hits. This Aegon is going down pretty quick. I wanted to get I wanted to trigger my evade to kill him like that, and I do that, and 32k gets taken off that 565 Aegon while I had Fear of the Void and 2 petrified debuffs up. So next node is node 31, the buffet mini boss. It is a 565 Medusa. 4 straight 565s in a row. Thanks a lot, ÖMNI. I really appreciate you guys. So this node does not have any Limber on it, so I'm going to take advantage of my parries to the fullest, which is what I'm doing. I do get to an L1 before she gets her living strands up, and I do drop the L1. I do get some debuffs on her before that happened, and now that she is in her living strands, all I'm going to do is just parry and heavy or counter her heavy with a heavy of my own. Try not to get backed up against the wall too much. I did push her to an L2. I usually try not to do that. The L1 is a little bit easier to evade. So her living strands did fall off. I did go a full 5-hit combo there, drop the L1, and my RNG is pretty good on this fight. I do have 2 of those petrifies up, so that's decent. I do I do retaliate her with a heavy of my own in the middle of her heavy while she's in her living strands. She dropped another L2, and right here I thought she was dropping a heavy, and I went for a heavy of my own, but she wasn't dropping a heavy. Luckily, I had that L1 in the back of my pocket. She was getting ready to retaliate me. She would have probably killed me. She would have probably wiped me out right there if she would have got me. But I dropped that L1 perfect, and I triggered her auto block, and it worked out. So once again, she drops a heavy. I like refresh the dexterity mastery or whatever. I trigger the buffet node like 32 or 26k. I don't know. I didn't see too well. But anyway, a ton of health gets taken off that Medusa. So next node is the enhanced armor up. And what else is it called? Kinetic armor maybe. Anyway, when you block hit the defender 5 times, you get a decent amount of your health taken off. And I've never fought a MODOK on this node, so I didn't really know how it was going to work. I just dropped my L1, and he has 4 armor ups, 1 more block damage, or 1 more auto block that I trigger from this guy. And I will be taking a ton of health due to the explosive armor node. That's what it's called. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, I start dropping heavies. When in doubt, parry heavy. That's the motto to go by. I do get clipped by this L1, unfortunately. I was a little off. But anyway, when in doubt, parry heavy, and my heavies are not triggering his auto block. He is still at 4 armor ups. That is great. So my parries just have to be really on point in this fight, which they are. They are, and I am able to get this strategy down pretty well with this just parry heavy continuously. I don't retaliate the L1, don't want to trigger another one of those armor ups. So this node is really good for MODOK. MODOK does really well on this node. I do drop an L3. I've had 565 Void for, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 months, maybe a little longer than that. But I feel like this was the first time I've ever seen this L3. While I was like editing the video, I was like, wait, I've never seen this L3. But anyway, the MODOK goes down. I didn't trigger the explosive armor node. Next node, node 42, the regeneration and something else. The regeneration node. It's a rank 5 mutant. It is the rank 5 domino. I was expecting the domino. I did look at the guy's profile. In the beginning of the fight, I do want to try and build up a couple poise charges before I start attacking into her. Right there, I tried to do the medium trick against the wall, and my dexterity failed. Once again, I don't think it failed from domino. I think it failed from me being maybe a little too late or something else. I'm not too sure. Anyway, I'm like, oh crap, I'm under 50% health. Time to try and clutch this fight out. I don't want to die in the first war of the season. So that's what I'm doing. I don't land on a medium while I pushed her into her lucky phase. I do drop this L2 before she has a chance to go into her lucky phase, before I pushed her over her second bar of power. She doesn't go into her lucky phase. I get 1 more medium trick in, and that 565 domino goes down. And that is my last fight of this Alliance War. We did beat ÖMNI. Big shout out to ÖMNI. Congratulations to all the MVPs. I hope you guys liked this Alliance War video. Till the next one. Peace.